All right, y'all, it's time to go on vacation. I got my sunscreen. I don't need sunscreen. I'm black.
Wait a minute.
Too late. I got my credit cards. Hold on, that's my insurance. I got my credit card. That's my health insurance. I got my credit cards. That's a coupon for a free sandwich.
So delicious.
I ain't got no credit cards. I'm broke. And y'all is too. So stop using them on vacations to go shopping and go on planes. Unless you got points, let me give you a pointer. Don't use them damn cards for no vacation. But that's why y'all broke. That's why y'all be on TikTok. Please just help me. Send me a galaxy. No, your credit is out of this galaxy because it's finna be trash. It's in the dump. Hey, you talking about? Stop using that and save your money and do it the right way. Idiot.
If you're going on a vacation, you gotta put it on a credit card. So I love what this commenter had to say because we've been taught that credit cards are a bad thing when we were growing up. The reason why we're taught that credit cards were a bad thing while growing up was because we weren't mature enough to use them. And so with credit cards, you will find that no rich person uses their debit card. They use their credit card everywhere they go. And that's simply because credit cards have way more protection. Also, you get points and you get rewards using your credit card. And if you're traveling, it's probably going to be a little bit more pricey. So you do want to use something like a credit card, not your debit card. You don't want to use the money in your bank account to go on a vacation. You want to use your credit. And again, I'm no financial counselor. I'm just a wise individual. Love you guys. Have a blessed day.
She got a point. You gotta be mature. As my grandmother would say, mature. A lot of y'all ain't mature. Y'all gonna go broke.
I got a credit card. Let's go to a nice hotel. Still gotta pay that off. But I had a good time.
Just because you technically can book the hotel room does not mean that you can afford it. Basically, if you're putting something on a credit card, it means that you can't afford it and you're borrowing from somebody else and just paying them more for it. The available limit is not the amount that you can afford. They are going to give you as much as they think is realistic that you might be able to pay back because they're banking on you giving them 20% in interest. So please don't assume because you have a credit card that you have that balance available and that you're technically able to afford it because you're putting on a credit card you can't afford it.
One thing that I will never do, and no judgment to anyone who does this, I'm just saying it's something I would never do, is finance a vacation. So basically, before we even leave, before we even book, I already have the cash, it's already earmarked, and I will use a card to book the airline tickets, to book the hotel, but as soon as the charge hits my account, I'm going in and I'm paying it off in full. The main reason why I do it this way is because, you know, when I go on vacation, I want it to be a relaxing experience. Not only relaxing while I'm there, but also when I come home, you know, I want to be refreshed. I want to be stress-free. I want to live off of this high for as long as possible. And for me personally, if I leave a relaxing vacation and come home to thousands of dollars of debt with no way to really pay it off, it's almost like the vacation is null and void because now I'm stressing about that. This kind of reminds me of this time years ago. I was in a restaurant and our waitress, she was working there part-time in the evenings and on the weekends. And we got to talking and she was saying how the reason why she had this part-time job is because she did, I think it was 2 or 3 months in Europe, and she had put everything on a credit card. So now she was working to pay off the charges. And if you were to ask her if it was worth it doing it that way, she probably would say yes. But I just know me personally, it would stress me out way too much.
A lot of people just put their vacations on a credit card and pay it off over time. Now, I think putting a vacation on a credit card is great if you want to get the points for that vacation on the credit card, but you need to be able to pay it off that month. If you're going to put a vacation on a credit card and you're going to have to pay it off over the months, you're paying way more for that vacation in interest than you probably thought you were going to.
And that's what a lot of y'all are doing, and y'all going broke by trying to do that. Then y'all get on the ground. Look at me, girl.
Vacation and debt should not go together. Let's face it, a good vacation can be expensive. And while it can be tempting to put that vacation on a credit card or even a short-term loan, the future financial regret that you'll have from that decision may not be worth it. You may even go so far as to justify it with all those bonus points that you'll get from that new travel rewards credit card you just opened. However, if you can't pay off that trip without paying interest or sacrificing your other long-term goals first, you may consider delaying it until you've covered your major priorities first. For other ways on how to travel more and achieve your financial goals, make sure to follow and subscribe.
You know, when you put a beach vacation on a credit card, you're just throwing money away. When you put vacation on a credit card, you're paying 21% interest. You're just losing everything.
I went to Kentucky, and that's where, let me think of his name, Abraham Lincoln.
Brand new whip, got no key. Tell her my clothes no start, please. Do not, you can go leave. Got M's in the back. She was getting it, boy. She was getting it, boy. Also, I had to take that audio out because I ain't trying to get copyrighted. I'm not trying to have a copyright on my credit card. Okay, but she's right. Get the life you want and stop playing.
Good morning. This is your morning reminder that you cannot afford a vacation if you have to put it on a credit card. And I know that's aggressive. I know you're tired and you definitely deserve a break. But you know what you do not deserve? Coming home from the beach to a $3,000 bill that follows you for the next 18 months like a lost puppy that charges interest. That's not a vacation. That's a travel-sized anxiety attack that you're making monthly payments on. Rest doesn't have to cost money. A staycation is still a vacation. A backyard with a book is still a reset. Save up for the beach trip. You'll enjoy it so much more when Visa isn't horning in on your memories. Have a great day.
So they book a trip they can't really afford, put a bunch of it on credit cards, and then spend the next year paying it off with interest. For else. So don't get me wrong. Travel what? A week of being somewhere can be great. Seeing new places, experiencing different cultures, all of that has value, but not if it's putting you in debt. Not if it's preventing you from saving money or investing for your future. There's this attitude that you have to travel while you're young. You have to see the world. You have to collect experiences. Sure, experiences are valuable. But you know what else is valuable? Not being broke. Not being stressed about money all the time. Not having to work until you're 70 because you spent all your money on vacations in your 20s and 30s. Maybe the better approach is to take smaller trips closer to home. Explore your own region, find free or cheap things to do. Save the expensive international travel for when you can actually afford it without going into debt. But that's not what people want to hear. They want permission to spend money they don't have on experiences they think they need.
In case social media made you forget, stop financing vacations. Putting your memories on a payment plan is not normal. Coming home from vacation to credit card bills is not freedom.
Because all y'all doing is creating memories. And now you got a $5,000 memory that you ain't going to be able to forget that.
You know, it sure is nice out here. You know what's not nice? Defaulting on your credit cards. You go on a nice beach vacation, but then you can't pay for it. You stay at these nice hotels. What happens if you default on credit card debt? Well, I'll tell you, you get sued with a lawsuit like this. This is happening to hundreds of thousands of people every month. And it's not just original creditors. This is a Bank of America case. They file lawsuits, but so do other creditors. In fact, a lot of them sell it to a debt buyer. You might be saying, is that even legal? Can they sell my debt? Yes, Bank of America, Chase, Discover, Amex, they can sell your debt to a debt purchaser. Some of the well-known ones, Portfolio Recovery, Midland Credit Management, LVNV Funding. If you see any of these entities on your credit report, there may be a lawsuit coming your way. If you default on credit card debt, the chances of being sued are high. Why does that matter? Because they can get a judgment, and with a judgment, they can seek to garnish your wages in many states. A percentage of your wages can come out of your check if they get a judgment and a court order doing so in many states. Also, they can freeze your bank account, try to take money out of your bank. Even if you only have $1,000 to your name, they can still try to take that from you. So if you default on credit card debt, it doesn't just go away, okay? It turns into a lawsuit. If you get sued for debt, reach out for help.
You know what I don't understand when I hear people say, like, I can't take vacation this year, like, I can't afford it. Like, credit cards exist. Take out an Amex card, put it on the credit card, and just pay it off. Like, the bank is literally giving you free money. So book that Italy, Europe vacation. Like, there you go, that's a hack.
Y'all can listen to her if you want to. Listen to her if you want to. I ain't got nothing else to say. Go on.
Travel and vacations they can't afford. All right. They put flights, hotels, and content trips on credit cards just to post they're in Europe or at the beach. That's ridiculous. Really. You know, if you can't afford it, if you're going to put it all on your credit card and then it's going to bury you later on, don't do it. You're going to regret it. Then you come home and you can't pay your bills. So you sat on a beach, You took all the selfies. You let everybody know you're having a good time. Then you come home, you can't pay your rent, or your lights are off, or you don't have enough money for food, or you're driving, scarcely because you don't have enough money for gas for the entire month. It's silly. When you can afford it, you do it. That's it. All right? Because listen to this. Gen Z trips average roughly $2,000 per person, and bigger international trips can run $8,000 to $12,000 for a couple or a group. That's a lot of money for young people. So if you don't have it, don't do it. And I'm going to tell you, that's stunad. And I'm going to say, well, come on, Michael, you got to have fun. Have fun when you can afford it. Not when you're going to come home and you're going to say, oh my God, why did I do this? And then struggle for the rest of the year. You don't want to do that. Stunad. Eating out and going out way too often. This drives me crazy. I see some kids, in a bar every night or going out or having fun, and they can't do it. I'm going to tell you the truth. When I'm growing up, I don't have money in my pocket. I don't go out, period. I don't want anybody else to pay for me. If I couldn't pay my way, I don't go. But a lot of these young kids, you see them out, they're buying drinks. They're no good. Can't do it. These are the things that bury you. They really bury you. So what am I going to say for that? Bad habit. Bad habit. I know you got to have some fun, but listen, you got to pick your choices. You can't do everything. You got to pick your battles, so to speak.
You need to minimize the size and weight of what you're bringing because you're going to be carrying it on your back. And I used to travel for business, and I always traveled with a carry-on for 4 or 5 day trips because it was more efficient. But cruising is a whole different story. You need clothes for daytime activities, evening dinners, swimwear, excursions, and maybe even an occasional workout. Trying to fit everything you need for a week-long cruise into a carry-on is like trying to cram your entire wardrobe into a shoebox. It's not fun and it's really not practical. We've tried packing light and we found it really stressful. It's interesting to me that the same people that advocate being really flexible for your cruise are the same ones that are advocating for packing with military precision and planning every day what you're going to wear a year from now. We often found ourselves running out of options for outfits or trying to do laundry in that tiny sink. So planning ahead is great, but if you only have that one tight dress left for the last evening and you feel bloated because of everything you ate for a week, it's nice to be able to have an option to swap it out for something loose. The reality is that a checked bag gives you room to breathe. And yes, that might mean paying $30 to $50 for that bag to the airline, but that's just part of the transportation cost. Checked luggage allows you to go with how you feel every day instead of worrying about what you did not pack. Another very popular piece of advice is don't pay for any specialty dining because food is already included. And it sounds logical, but after years of cruising, this is a tip we no longer follow. Here's the truth. Inflation made everything more expensive, and cruise lines have to figure out how to lower their costs. This is often reflected in the food quality in both the buffet and the main dining room. And while the food is decent most of the times, many people say it's just not what it used to be. Specialty restaurants, on the other hand, usually have better food and better service. Plus, if you're looking for a quieter, more relaxed atmosphere, even if it's just for one dinner, specialty dining may be worth the splurge. You see, the main dining room, especially on family-focused cruises, can get really noisy with kids that are testing the limits of acceptable behavior and parents that don't seem to mind. Specialty restaurants tend to be more exclusive, giving you a break from the hustle and bustle and allowing you to have a nice, quiet dinner. Next cruising tip I don't agree with is always trying to get a cabin upgrade. Now, whether you pay for it as part of the bid-up auction or you get lucky enough to get upgraded for free, those automatic upgrades aren't always the best deal. Sure, the idea of the upgraded cabin sounds good, but here's the catch. Those upgrades don't always mean a better option or a good fit for your preferences. Many times, it's the worst cabins in that category that are left to be filled up through upgrades. So you might end up with a cabin right under a pool deck where you hear loud music blasting all day, or above a bar where the party goes on until 2 a.m. every night and you end up with sleepless nights for your whole cruise. Now, here's another important factor to remember. If you book 2 or more cabins for your family, let's say one for you, one for your kids next door, and grandparents next to them, and you bid on an upgrade, you can end up on opposite sides of the ship. Many people advise skipping travel insurance because they pay with a credit card that has travel protection.
Big mistake. Big mistake.
It might sound like it's an easy way to save money, but it's not worth the risk. Here's the deal. The coverage offered by credit cards is usually very limited. Sure, it might refund you if you cancel your trip, but what happens if you get injured during an excursion or get sick while on board? Cruise medical facilities are very pricey, and emergencies requiring evacuation could set you back tens of thousands of dollars or more. On our cruise last summer, they had to change the itinerary and reroute the ship to another port in Mexico to evacuate somebody who needed.
And the reason why I'm just saying don't do it at all is because a lot of people can't take it. I'm one of those people. That's why I just don't do it, bro. I use it for stuff that I really gotta use or just an asset. I ain't using no credit just for no memory, bro. I'm gonna use it for a memory of getting richer, so I can remember when that time when I was trying to get rich. That's the only time I'm gonna use it for. A lot of y'all, some of y'all can do it. Some of y'all can be responsible and do it, but that's only like a little percentage, bro. And you need to be making money for that. But other than that, don't be doing that because you're going broke. If y'all know anybody who's doing this nonsense, drop them in the comments. Let me know all about it. I would love to hear about these friends that's doing this stuff. And if you also want to hear about people going broke on vacations, listen to this video right here. I'm gone, man. I'm going to holler at you.